We're three caballeros, yes, three caballeros.
Hello everyone, this is Rugveda Karthik from the Three Caballeros and welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we have discussed the syllabus of ICSE Computer Applications for class 9th. Today we will be discussing the syllabus for class 10th. So let's go.
Now we will see the 10th grade syllabus. So theory, you have revision of class 9, all those same chapters except for the 10th chapter, computing ethics. All other chapters are there for your 10th grade or revision of class 9 syllabus. You must pay attention to those chapters. Then you have the second chapter, class as the basis of all computation. So in this, objects and classes are dealt with in much more detail than that second chapter of your class 9, elementary concept of classes and objects is there. So the same chapter will repeat in your 10th. So you may learn this. It is also purely theoretical, not much is asked in this. Objects encapsulate state and behavior, numerous examples, member variables, then attributes or features, variables define state, member methods, operations, methods, messages, methods. This is all simple chapter only, nothing much to worry. Class is abstractions for sets of objects, class as an object factory, primitive data types and composite data types, the definition you have to learn. Variable declarations for both types, difference between the two types, objects as an instance of class. Consider real life examples for explaining concept of class and object. I have explained with that car class. No? Then you have user defined methods, a very important chapter. So mostly one question for 15 marks will be asked. It is on function method overloading. It is given here, right? That on based on method overloading only you will get 15 marks, one question in your programmings. Then need for methods, this is a theoretical part, 2 marks, one question may come. What is the need for method? So you can learn the points given in your textbook. Then syntax of method, forms of methods, method definition, method calling, method overloading and declaration of methods. Simple thing, nothing to much worry much. So ways to define a method, ways to invoke the method, call by value and call by reference. Call by reference, you only have to understand its definition, you have to see the example, that's it. Call by reference is not much asked at all. But call by value, you have to learn programs also. Programming you should not by heart. If you ask me, you should understand what happens one after another. So if you sit to by heart, you may tend to forget later on. So if you understand, your mind continuously keeps on pumping what comes next as you keep on writing the answer. So object creation, invoking the methods, you must know how to create an object and how to use them with these methods, you must be knowing. Then actual parameters and formal parameters, the definition and what they are, you must be knowing. Then declaration of methods, how to create and declare a method, you must know. What are static and non-static methods, you must be knowing. So wherever you are using a variable, data member or a member method with a keyword static, then it is said to be a static class member. It can be a data member or a member method as well, but it is static. Whichever is not declared with the keyword static, it is non-static. So to understand this better, I am not going to give any explanation right now about that. Later you will be learning in the future videos. Then method prototype or method signature. Method prototype or signature is nothing but the name and the parameter list and all of that of the methods you will be seeing here. That will be given. That is given nicely in the textbook, and I will also explain later on about that. Pure and impure methods, that there are 2 types of methods you should be knowing. And pass by value. Then returning values from methods. The return statement, a very important part of your syllabus is return statement. Use of multiple methods or more than one method with the same name, that is method overloading, I told, right? So that 15 marks one program will come, so you have to learn about that. Then constructors, these things are not this constructor chapter is not that complicated as it looks like, and that too very small syllabus is there for this chapter. So what is a constructor? The definition you must be knowing, some characteristics you must be knowing. Then types of constructors, there are 4 types of constructors, and based on that how to use constructors, also different ways of invoking and using them is also given in the textbook, and I will also be explaining. So the types you must know very nicely. Then what is the use of a constructor? Constructors are only used for initializing the instance variables of the class members. So there are different types of variables also, which we will be taking in the future videos, so you don't need to worry about that. Then constructor overloading, important program on constructor overloading is there. So default constructor, parameterized constructor, and non-parameterized constructor and copy constructor are the four types of constructors, and you must be knowing how to use them, what are their definition, etc. Then you have constructor overloading. I've already told about that. And difference between a constructor and a method, very important. 2 marks, one theory question can be there on difference between constructor and method. Now you have library classes chapter. This is again a simple chapter. Mostly output questions are asked, and little bit they can be used also in the programming section. So learn. It is an easy chapter, and students like this chapter very much. So introduction to wrapper classes, methods of wrapper class and their usage with respect to numeric and character data types, auto boxing and unboxing in wrapper class. Auto boxing and unboxing is purely theory. You just have to learn how to perform auto boxing and unboxing, and the definition, nothing much. Then this thing, class is a composite data type. It is already given in this chapter, so nothing much, you will leave this part. Distinction between primitive and composite data type, the difference you must know. Class may be considered as a new data type created by the user. So class can be considered as a data type for the user himself, because class is nothing but a composite data type. And then that has its own functionality. The distinction between primitive and composite data types should be discussed through examples. Examples also you have to learn properly about this. Same thing again they have repeated again in this list, I don't know why. Show how classes allow user defined types in program. All primitive types have corresponding wrapper classes. So this you have to know, there are 8 wrapper classes corresponding to the primitive data types. Introduce auto boxing and unboxing with their definition and simple examples. Then you have to learn all these methods listed here: parse int, parse long, parse float, parse double, boolean is digit, is letter or digit, lowercase, is uppercase, is white space, 2 lowercase and 2 uppercase. Here white space, this is in this method, there's a small error. It should actually be is white space, white you first write, in that W should be capital, and space again S should be capital, then only it will work. Then these are the methods that you must learn thoroughly. Output questions, MCQs, and sometimes in program section also this is asked. Then encapsulation, learn it for theory and MCQs, it will be asked. Access specifiers and its scope and visibility. Access specifiers, there are only 3: private, protected, and public. Visibility rules for private, protected, and public access specifiers. They specify whether it can be used extensively or yes, it has restricted usage. So that you have to know about access specifiers. Then scope of variables. So whether a variable can be used in any class, any program, or it has to be used in that particular program, and the usage of that variable is restricted, all that comes under scope of variables. And the types of variables, as I've told: class variables, instance variables, argument variables, and local variables. These 4 types of variables with definitions and examples you have to know. Now comes another very important chapter: arrays. So definition of an array, a big definition is there, learn it completely thoroughly. Types of arrays, there are 2 types: single dimensional and double dimensional. How to declare an array, and initialization and accepting data of single and double dimensional arrays. Accessing elements of single dimensional, double dimensional array, how to print them and all, etc. will be covered. Arrays and their uses, what is the use of an array. Sorting techniques, so there are 2 types of sorting techniques: selection sort and bubble sort. One program comes on different types of operations that can be performed on array: searching, sorting, any type. And if sorting is coming, a selection sort or a bubble sort, any one will come. So 115 marks program will be there on searching, sorting, whatever. So each program is 15 marks only, remember that. So I don't need to tell again and again. So one program can come on selection sort or bubble sort, both can be asked in the same exam paper. Then you have search techniques, linear search and binary search. Array as a composite type, again you have to know that array is a composite type. Length statement to find the size of the array. The length statement is very important. Remember that. Sorting and searching techniques only using single dimensional array. For double dimensional array, you don't just need to learn this sorting and searching. It won't be there in the textbook also. Now declaration, initialization, accepting data in a double dimensional array. You have to know how to create a double dimensional array and store values. Then sum of elements in a row, column and diagonal elements, right diagonal and left diagonal. That programs will be there in your textbook. You can learn there. While learning programs, I tell you first read what is there, the textbook, the program, and then try to program it yourself without looking. You can either write and practice it, or you can type it in Blue J and display the elements of two-dimensional array in a matrix format. How to display? Using that nested loop, you must be displaying it. If you are going to write grade 10 ICSE board exam this year for 2025, I mean 2024 to 25, if you are a student of class 10 batch of ICSE this year and you are a student of computer applications, so learn all of what I'm telling for grade 10. We will be there to explain every single thing. If you have doubts, we will be there to help you. We'll be organizing live streams before your exam. We'll be doing all of that. Don't need to worry. So just follow what we say, and also give importance to what your teachers have to say in your school. Their tips and all you must follow, and what tips we have learned from our teachers, we all of that we will be sharing in the videos as well. And string handling, one chapter that is hated by all students, but it is not that tough. Once you get a hang of it, you don't need to worry about this. String class. String, you might be hearing this word a lot of time. String is nothing but a group of characters. A word, a sentence, anything, it is a string. Anything enclosed within double quotes is a string. That's it. You remember this basic thing. Methods of string class, all of this is covered here. All these methods you have to learn where what type of method can be used. You must know as soon as you read the program, you should know what kind of method you must be using in it. Implementation of string class methods. String array, if you visualize a string to be an array, then easily you will be able to do all the programs of the string chapter. So the string methods here are trim, two lowercase and two uppercase. Don't get confused with the two lowercase and two uppercase from the wrapper class chapter. Length, the length of the length statement of array and length statement of string. Don't get confused. The length of array chapter is just the length without any brackets. This just gives the value of the length of that array. Now when it comes to length with brackets, that belongs to string, this one, and this belongs to array. With bracket means it is part of string. It will give you the length of a string. Then caret, it is a very simple one, mostly used in all types of programming questions on string. Very important, caret. Then index of, last index of, these two, and concat. Concat equals ignore. Compare to has a equals and equals ignore case. Compare to ignore case is also there. So this string trim, two lowercase, two uppercase, mostly part of theory section output questions and MCQs. Length, caret, index of, last index of can be there in both programming as well as theory section. Concat also finds its way in both programming as well as theory section, but mostly you will find it in theory. Then boolean equals ignore case, and int compare to. I'm sorry. Boolean equals, this will find its way in programming as well as theory, but these two mostly they are asked in theory section only. Then you have some more. Yeah, compare to ignore case, I told, right? This one also MCQ and output questions. Replace, not used much, can be there in theory and also in programming. Replace is not used that much in programming. You will find the least usage of this replace function in programming. It is more you can find the questions on replace in the theory section, but not much is asked about this in programming. Substring, very important. Okay, substring is very important. Substring, two types are there. very very important for both theory and programming. Starts with and ends with, not used much in programming, but it will be there mostly in theory. String value of also theory. Programs based on the above methods, extracting and modifying characters of a string, alphabetical order of strings in an array, bubble and selection sort techniques. You must know about how bubble sort and selection sort can be used to arrange the words in a string array. Arrange the letters in a string array. That you must be searching for a string using linear search technique only. Binary search you are not asked to use for string. You can use linear search. So that is the complete syllabus discussion for class 9th and 10th computer applications. So internal assessment is very important. It carries 100 marks. An average will be taken on the marks of your written paper and the internal assessment, and after they take the average, the marks are declared for this subject. This is a group 3 subject, right? So all group 3 subjects, same process. So you will be given a list of questions and you have to program them, take screenshots, or you can also write it and submit it to the teacher. Based on the school and the teacher, it depends whether you have to take screenshot of that program written in BlueJ, or you have to write it using a pen and paper, and you have to submit it to the teacher, including one thing, you have to write comments, variable description table. Very very important. I'll discuss about comments and variable description table, how to write a program in your board exam. One short video I will prepare on that. Variable description table, comments, and output of the programs that was given to you. You have to nicely make a file of it. You have to spiral bind it, or you can submit it normally as a file, and you have to make a nice cover page. Cover page is not mandatory. If your teacher tells it as mandatory, then you must do, and you have to submit. And then your marks, internal marks, are calculated by the teacher and the external examiner as well. So make sure you sincerely do the internal assessment for this subject. Not just this, it is your obligation. You must definitely do your internal assessment very well. If your written paper has found some mistakes and your marks are reducing in that, your internal assessment marks will be there to save you. That's why I'm saying you have to work so hard and sincerely for your internal assessment, so that they will be there to save you. Just complete and give it in such a way that after your subject teacher and the external examiner see your assessment, they should think that you have done it perfectly, and they should give full marks. So like that you should be doing. For me, the internal assessment was given like how I explained earlier. If your teacher is guiding you in a different way, just do it as your teacher tells, because ultimately your subject teacher is also having part the power of giving you the internal assessment marks. Just do according to what your teacher says.
So this brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like this video and comment all your doubts regarding to the syllabus. Maybe I'll be happy enough to answer to that. And hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to not miss out on any updates of our future Java video releases. And share this video with your fellow computer application students so that it will help them as well. So I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.
We're three caballeros, yes, three caballeros. They say we are birds of a feather.